Josh Primo, come on, baby. Josh Primo is deserving of recognition. I've said it before. I really think it's going to go Keldon Johnson, the leading scorer for this team. And then Devin Vassell, probably the second, and the third, Josh Primo. But Josh Primo and Devin Vassell will be fighting for that second. I think those three guys will be the three leading scorers of this team. And tonight, Primo showing why. He was one of, if not the youngest player drafted in his draft class. The kid's like barely 20, okay? And he's a guy that, if you're looking at this team, you're like, they don't have a backup point guard. Well, it's because Primo, tonight he dropped 4 assists, but he's shown to be at the very least a secondary ball handler, but showing that he could actually moonlight as a backup point guard. He's 19, okay? He turns 20 in December on Christmas Eve. And last year, he shot 31% from 3. Yeah, I know it wasn't pretty at all. But the thing is people don't realize is this was a guy who, before the All-Star break, he was actually shooting closer to league average at 32%. He had, like, post All-Star break, he was getting more touches, so his efficiency went down. But he, at the very least, in his limited minutes, the Spurs don't really play young guys, and by the end of the year, he's playing 25 minutes a night. So Greg Popovich has faith in this man. And Romeo Langford, he's not going to do anything, okay? Malachi Bronman and Blake Wesley, they barely played in the preseason, and it's going to continue to go like that during the regular season. And when I look at this team, I'm truly amazed. And I know they have Joe Wieskamp and Josh Richardson on the team, but Josh Primo could be a guy who's the primary backup point guard because they don't have a backup point guard. So not only will he get minutes as a backup shooting guard to Devin Vassell, who we assume will be the starting shooting guard, but he's the primary backup guard for this team. Devin Vassell himself had 18 points tonight. And that's what I'm saying is Vassell, Primo. And the other thing is like, obviously Vassell's the more two-way 3-and-D guy, but Primo does, kind of, I guess you could say, what would be the word? He does foresight as a guy who could be a good multi-positioner defender for the Spurs. And Trey Jones could end up being where Trey Jones is the pass first, defense first guy, and then you have the scoring guard be Josh Primo. And I think it's going to be fun. It's interesting to watch, to say the very least. And for me, I think when you look at the team, okay, they're incredibly talented. Let me tell you something about Primo, okay? Primo was a guy who I think a lot of people, wrote off going into the season because he wasn't super efficient in his rookie year. But I really do believe Primo is a guy that has been overlooked. I had him as one of my favorite prospects going into the draft that year. And as a young guy at Alabama in his 1 year, he averaged, about a little over half a steal game, but it was 38% from 3. And in summary, I think Primo, what we have here is an awesome, high upside young guy, okay? And look, last year he wasn't 100% totally ready to play in the NBA, but by taking him in the first, what they did was they got themselves a good asset, okay? And he still hasn't proven much, but Primo's role in youth simply is something that's going to allow him to go ahead. He had a strong pre-draft and a strong, I think, rookie season to build upon, but he's a real shot at becoming a valuable player in the NBA because what he has the ability to do is space the floor and potentially attack off the bounds and make quick decisions as a passer and, playmaker. Primo has shown enough at all lower levels that he was worthy of the flyer that the Spurs took on him in the lottery. And obviously, he wasn't a rookie rotational player till later in the season, but I think as we saw, this is that Primo is developing into an effective player who can fill the needs that every team needs across the league. He's 6'5", basically with 6'9" wingspan, and defensively pretty good rotational role player, always engaged, moves around the court, navigates action well, reacts in terms of seeing the court and what needs to do. And the issues are on the ball right now. His team defense shouldn't be a negative, but he's not quite Tyrese Halliburton or anything in terms of positive reactivity on that end and disruption, but should be able to play within a scheme reasonably well as he goes on. And his key skill is shooting, and we saw it on display. And he's always been a fun guy to watch. And I think it's just we're just continuing to see this fun guy to watch. And that's where I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Where do you guys think of Josh Primo? Are you guys on the same page as me with him, or am I wrong? I really do believe that Josh Primo is a guy that people need to be paying attention to. And yeah, I think he's a guy that definitely has shown already in his limited time what he's capable of and what he's good at. And sorry I couldn't find more more stuff from recent workouts. I'm trying to find more practice videos of him, but I have not been able to find any more. But let me know if you guys see them. So I want to hear your thoughts down below. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good jazz. Peace out.